Hello, I hope you're well. Now, I've just stopped in my car to do a really quick explanation video. So someone asked me the absolutely great question of how do you manage breaks in a private household? You know, when you've got groups of staff, footmen, butlers, housekeepers, everyone else, how do you get them all appropriate amounts of downtime so they're not just working all day long? Now, the cheeky answer would be with great difficulty because it is a challenge. Funnily enough, the tradition was always, in the UK at least, the tradition was always that all the household staff took a break together. Now, when I started at Leeds Castle, that was very much still something we did. So we had specific break times and everyone sat round the pantry table together, exactly as you'll see on programs like Downton Abbey and similar ones to that. And I've always loved that. And it's something that I've endeavored to do ongoing because it's a bonding experience for the full team. It also is a really nice sort of informal team meeting where people can actually ask questions and just in a friendly way discuss what's been happening during the day. So I don't look at that as any lost time at all within how many hours everyone's working. I actually look about you're kind of gaining free time because you are relaxing. It shouldn't be a meeting, it should be a nice environment, but yet you actually achieve a lot of things that you would achieve in a formal meeting, but in a better way. Now, the problem is that only works with more traditional principals, more traditional owners who appreciate and actually are very happy for their staff to take breaks in that way. Most of the stately home owners are 100% happy to have the service staff have their break. Usually for the evening one, it'll be around 5 o'clock, and then you'll be finished before cocktail hour, before pre-dinner drinks start at 7. Okay. Same at lunchtime. Well, the opposite at lunchtime. The household staff would normally take their break after the guests have their lunch, and we would normally eat what was left. That's the general rule. Same after breakfast, we normally just eat what's left. These days, you quite often have to do it in a more hospitality style, like you would if you're working in a restaurant, which means everyone has a staggered break time. So you'd be saying, Simeon, your break is between 1 and 2. Lily, your break is between 2 and 3. David, your break is between 3 and 4, whatever. And of course that it does work, but I feel that you lose a lot of the good relationships within the team by doing that. If people have to sit on their own to eat their sandwiches or whatever food's provided, you don't get that same camaraderie as you do when everyone sits around the pantry table together. So my big recommendation would be to try and get everyone around the pantry table. That's probably a metaphorical pantry table because these days we don't all have a big pantry like the castles that I normally work in, but you might be in a very modern kind of building where you have a staff room or something along those lines, an outmess. So get everyone together at set times of day, speak to your principal and say, sir, sir, madam, if it works for you, I will do the staff breaks at this time, and this time. Let's say maybe 11, 1:30 and 5 or something along those lines. Obviously, if there's an event going on or something else, then that may well have to be changed. But in a normal day-to-day basis, it actually works very well because the principal knows where everyone is. They don't fret in their head that people aren't working because they know you're on your allotted break. One of the things that principals quite often worry about is they worry about people taking advantage and having more breaks than they're due. Realistically, that practically never happens in a private household. In fact, I would go to say is 9 times out of 10, the people in the private household work considerably longer hours than they've been contracted for. But because a lot of what we do can't be seen by the principal, they're often assuming that people are not working. Of course, we're working extremely hard. And this, I would say, can actually really help with that because they know exactly how much break everyone's having and they know that people will be working at all other times. A lot of the very traditional practices in a private households, they evolved over hundreds of years, and they didn't evolve like that by accident. They evolved like that because it was the best way of doing it. So that's my advice. Try and have everyone take a break together. It's great for team building, it's great for communication. It also saves money because assuming you're providing the food for the staff, I know not everyone does, but assuming you are, then you can cook it all at the same time and that's more cost effective. I would also, another thing I would highly recommend is if you're a principal watching this or a head butler or a house manager, provide food for the staff. For a start, they won't feel the need to go down the shop and buy their own food, which will take up precious time from their day. They also won't feel the need to steal food that's actually intended for the principal, which will be A, expensive, and B, make stock control very hard. And most importantly, you know they're well fed and well looked after because people work better when they're well fed and well looked after. Happy staff are productive staff. That's a simple rule to it. So if everyone's happy, everyone's well fed, everyone's well looked after, then you'll actually achieve way, way more than you ever would for a team which are hungry, tired, and disgruntled. Okay, so that's my advice today. I hope it's helpful to you. See you again soon. Thanks, bye-bye.